This is take I don't even know anymore. I don't even know.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skein of yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Hi. Welcome to the We Are Yarn podcast YouTube channel. However you're consuming my media at this time. My name's Amanda. I'm your host for the evening. I'm on vacation, SAFF style. So in order to get off to be able, my work, to be able to go to SAFF, the way our vacation sign out works, the vacation book gets passed in order of seniority 3 times. And the first pass, you have to sign out for blocks of time in a week at a time. So blocks of time in increments of a week. And I would really, I just need like the Thursday and Friday of SAFF to be able to go if I'm going to go stay overnight and that sort of thing. But just to be safe, I take off the whole week. So it is Monday, the 23rd, SAFF, the Southeast Animal Fiber Fair, is this weekend, and I'm off all week, and I'm so excited, because Mama needs a vacation, let me tell you. But that's not what you're here to hear about, is it? No. You're also not here to hear about how I recorded maybe 10 days ago and it failed miserably. Something happened with the sound. I think I know what. It's completely my fault, but I haven't had a chance to record until now. That was my kitty cat jumping on my bed. Since it is so late in the evening, my child has been laid down for the night. He's still tossing and turning a little bit, trying to get comfortable. He's only been in bed maybe 20 minutes. So, it takes me that long to really get comfortable and good and settled. I'm not worried about it, but I didn't want to be across the hall from him talking. So we're in my bedroom this evening, hanging out. I have so much to show you. So much. Are you ready? First, let's talk about my Oslo Walk shawl. Oslo Walk shawl. It is out of this magazine. Winter 2016. At least I'm 98% certain this is the one. Yep, there she is. It's supposed to be all beaded, right? And all pointy and stuff out of wool, but mine is out of Bijou Basin, Shangri-La, which is oh, no wonder it's not doing right. I blocked it wrong. I blocked it wrong. That's why it's straightened out. This is out of Shangri-La by Bijou Basin. It's a lace weight silk yak blend. This was donated by them to the podcast many moons ago. I waited for the perfect inspiration, and I'm glad I did. Now, things I did differently on this shawl than on the pattern called for. First off, I blocked it wrong. I tried to block out the points here when it looks like I should have been blocking out the points here. So when I released it, it never really liked being pointed. Maybe after I wear it a few more times, I'll go back and try again and see if blocking it at the appropriate point makes a difference. As it stands right now, I don't really care. I like it the way it is. It does also, if you will see, thusly. Let me find it again because I closed the lovely 83 is the page we want to find. As you can see from the wee tiny picture, there, it has lace, rows of lace eyelets running up the body of the shawl. I was not interested in fiddling with yarn overs and knit two togethers. If you remember, there's a plane. Can you hear the plane? That's what I get for living near the airport. The good old Knoxville Metro Airport. So, I was not, if you remember, I was having a very difficult time with my mommy brain wrapping around lace. And by the time I got through the lace, I was not at all interested in doing any more lace for the time being. Now, I will say, the day I read an article, all you new mommies, if you're concerned, here's the article. The article that I read said that they had done a study where they actually did imaging of women's brains before they were pregnant, during pregnancy, and for several years after pregnancy. And there is a change, there's a shift in your gray matter. You're not crazy, it's actually happening. Science has proven this. There is a shift in your gray matter. And they found that after 2 years postpartum, that the gray matter shifts back more closely resembling what your gray matter looked like before you were pregnant. 2 years. So you're not quite right for 2 years. And man, my knitting has reflected that. And then the day after my child turned 2, I picked this up again. I was like, fall is coming. And the reason I wanted to knit this is because I wanted something red. I wanted a red accessory, a red neck accessory specifically to wear. Because it always seemed like in the fall I wanted something red around my neck. But I never could find a really good statement necklace, so I was going to knit something, and I had this beautiful red. This shawl jumped out at me, and I knit it. Susanna, I see. Okay, so fall was coming. The time that I wanted my red was coming. I was like, I just have to sit down and do it. And something happened. I changed my needles. I was using cubics. I switched to Likes, my Likey set. And I don't know if that's what did it. I don't know if the cubics and lace weight yarn and lace, maybe that just was a bad mix of things, of ingredients. But once I changed my tool to the Likey, and maybe it's something about that magic 2-year mark, all of a sudden it was flying. And I was not having the first problem with the lace, and it just went. And I don't understand it, but I'm glad I'm back. Because I managed to finish this shawl. But once I got done with the lace, I didn't want to do any more yarn over knit two togethers. I didn't want to tempt fate. So I just did stockinette. So, not that it was difficult, because she had you doing those that lace at the end of your short row. She was using those yarn overs as to hide the short rows, but I just omitted those because I didn't want to have to keep up with doing the yarn over knit two together to continue the rows up. So anyway, there it is. I've worn it twice already. I wore it today when I was hanging out with knitterly friends. I wore it, it's Monday, I wore it yesterday when I went to Knit Group. And it's exactly what I wanted. It rolls like crazy in the stockinette bit. I'm betting if I'd stuck with that lace, it would not roll the way it does. But it doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever. And now that I know that I blocked it out wrong, I'm not as sad about the edges rolling. The next time, like I said, maybe I'll pin it back out and re-steam it. I just steam blocked it. So that's that. For you crocheters, I did a few more snowflakes while watching a movie with the hubs. Now these are both still Snowcatchers patterns. I really do highly recommend her patterns if you are a pattern reader as opposed to a chart reader. She does not put charts together, but her patterns are very clear, and it's always interesting to see how it'll go putting these together. And you know, they look really, this is, they have not been blocked and glued yet, but this is Crystal Peak. I think this may be my favorite one of hers. Pikes Peak and Crystal Peak, it's a hard call. But that one. So this was only like 6 or 7 rows, and this one was only like 4 or 5. And they go pretty quick. I made both of these while watching a movie with the husband. And then here's this one. And this one is a flake of its own. She said she was making a larger snowflake, but got this far and thought it looked fine by itself, so she wrote it up as a pattern all on its own. And I think it's going to be much more stunning once I get it pinned out. So, but yeah, so I did a little crochet. Here's a little more crochet. I have some gifts. I gift knitted. Stop the presses. You know, this is or gift crafted, I guess. You know, I'm a pretty selfish knitter. I very rarely knit for other people. But a pharmacist that I worked with, a coworker, was moving on to different pastures. And she's a big fan of owls. And so I made her an owl keychain. This owl keychain is a pattern by Yarn Artists. And I knit it, did I hold it double? It's fingering weight. I did not hold it double. No, I did not. I was having to think it's been a while. It's been actually since October the 7th is when I finished that. It calls for worsted, but I just used fingering weight. I think I used a H? No. G? No. I used a steel hook. I don't remember what size hook I used. All of the details for my patterns or for my projects are on their project pages on Ravelry. I'm really good about keeping up mostly with the details of all my projects. So you can go there on Ravelry, Mandicat, M-A-N-D-I-K-A-T. But she was tickled with it. The eyes, they look like buttons. They're not buttons. They are the tops of some vials of diluent that we use in the pharmacy. Because I was in the pharmacy and I was finishing it up because she was coming in the shift behind me, and that would be the very last time I ever saw her unless we have social events with the pharmacy and invite her. So I didn't have any buttons, but I had those, and I poked holes in them, and they worked great. So that was that, and she really appreciated it. She's a crafter herself, so she was really pleased with it. I also did some more crochet. I know. Are you ready? Hand spun pumpkin adorableness. This is actually a stem from a pumpkin that I bought to decorate the house with even. So, it's And it's from my hand spun, guys. I used an H hook because it's what I had handy. Actually, it's right here. I put it in this bag because it was fall festive. Fall colors at least. And, you know, I don't crochet very often, and I got super excited when I dove into my hook stash and remembered I had this forest palm wood hook, and it's just beautiful. So and it was an H, so that's what I used. It says I on it though. How weird. 5.5. Oh my goodness. So it is an I hook. So this says I 5.5 millimeter, but my thing here says 5 millimeter. Well then, that's good to know. So I used an I hook when I thought it was an H, and that's okay. This was hand spun. It was a bat that I bought at SAFF many moons ago. Moon something Farms big derriere bat, and I've had it completed for a long time, the yarn, and I've been meaning to make a pumpkin out of it for ages, and I decided this year was the year that I was actually going to do it. And I apologize if you can hear the background noise. My husband is a hobbyist blacksmith. It's outside banging on his metal. Finally, one more gift. So this was the pumpkin. Again, go to my project page. I have linked. It was actually just a blog post that I found scrolling through Pinterest one night, which is why I jumped on it, because I was like, oh, that's actually really easy. Why have I been putting off making a pumpkin? Megan Shames, S-H-A-I-M-E-S. It was not a pattern in Ravelry. Ravelry told me I had the option to add it. I don't know if I'm really interested in doing that, but I may, if I can do that. So finally, I knit this is a modified Jane hat by Jane Richmond for my niece, who is a freshman in high school. I was going to knit her a hat for Christmas, but then she and my sister were visiting, and they mentioned that they go to every single football game of her high school. They mentioned they go to every single game of their high school, including the away games, and it's going to get cold soon. She needed a hat in her school colors. I decided it that day, and I made it happen. Her colors are gold and green, so I took my happy little bottom to the Hook and Needle here in my hometown, and because I knew she had in stock, it's universal. You know, when I recorded this the first time back in the day, I had tags and everything. I was all prepared, but I put it all away. It was universal school spirit stripes, something like that. Now, what you need to know is this does not knit in your traditional stripe fashion. Like, it's not self-striping. It's intentional pooling. So if that's not your thing, don't get this yarn. But here's my finished hat. So I did the Jane hat. I cast on the right number of stitches according to the pattern. I did the folded brim because that's my favorite. And then I made it, instead of doing the mock cables in the Jane hat, I just knit stockinette because I thought the cables and the stripes would be too much. But that's how it worked up. And then for the pom-pom, I went back to my yarn store to get a fur pom-pom, and I think that they are real fur, the ones she had, and they were a little pricier than I wanted. I didn't want to spend that much money on the pom-pom. So I took myself to Michael's. I had a 50% off one item coupon, and I had a 20% off your entire purchase coupon, and those can stack. So I bought a keychain, a pom-pom keychain, and some snaps. And I cut the pom-pom off the keychain, and I sewed on the snap to the hat and to the pom-pom. I did them upside down the first time, and then I had to correct it, and then it was perfect, and I mailed it off, and she loved it. You use the snaps so that you can remove the pom-pom if you need to wash the hat. I don't foresee her needing to wash the hat, but I just thought it was a clever way to attach it. So that's what I did. See? Lots and lots of finished objects. You want to hear about what else I've been working on? Let's talk about what else I've been working on. We have a knit-along going for Any Faded pattern by Andrea Mowry. She has 5 now. Find Your Fade, Free Your Fade, What the Fade, So Faded, and the cardigan. A cardigan just came out, but I do not recall what the name of it is. So I have been working away. When I tried to show you the first time, I was not this far along. But I think I'm getting close to adding my second color. But here's what I have so far. I just dropped a stitch. Let me pick it up. Podcasting fail. And there we go. Okay, let's get that off of here. I'm doing this on my Likey Interchangeables, knitting this up. And so it is a just a raglan in the round type business with some neck shaping to bring your collar down a little bit, I guess. Now on the shoulder, she calls for a garter stitch section, and then you just go into stockinette for the sleeve. And once I joined it, and no, I had not joined it in the round yet. Okay, make up your mind what you're going to do, Kat. Come here. I had not yet joined it, but I forgot on the return purl row, and just purled across instead of knitting through that section. So I just abandoned the garter. I wasn't a huge fan anyway, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I got 6 bumps. So it's a little bit of interest up there at the top. But it doesn't hurt my feelings. I forgot that. But this is, if you want to know what the yarn is, it is, Fiber Charmer Camo is the colorway. I don't know if she's still dyeing or not. A couple 3 years ago was no longer dyeing. But it's the Blue Boo. It's the base. It's a BFL wool and bamboo rayon blend. So I'm really enjoying that. I did go ahead and ball up my next colorway because, like I said, I'm getting very close to putting in my next. So here it is. And it is Cyborg's Craft Room. It's her Socolate base, Land of Blue Sky Waters. Sky Blue Waters. So that'll be the next. So here's 1 and 2. I think they're going to blend really nicely. I'm looking forward to it. And this, at the moment, is riding around in my caffeinated craft arts bag. But I have a feeling it will be growing out of this bag very soon. I also have worked on my son's dinosaur that was supposed to be done at the end of September, but he'll never know. It's out of this Knitted Dinosaurs book. I'm pretty certain I've said before, knitting stuffies is a little too fiddly for me. I'm going to be crocheting them from here on out. But look what I have finished. Oh, look. I haven't been able to find any of my darning needles lately. They run away. I have the body all stuffed and sewn up. And his little frilly bit. And he has 2 front legs. Pretty certain those are his front legs. Yeah. And then these fatso guys are his back legs. So I've just got to sew all that together and then add his little details, like his little face, and the pattern has little polka dots on the back. I don't know if I'll buy felt and glue it on. I may not even add the polka dots. I may just make his little horns and face and be done. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then today, the husband's been in and out. I hope he's not listening. Oh, no, let's talk about something else. Whew, I thought he had left the house and he had not. I'm knitting the husband's socks. I know, right? Trying to get these done for Christmas. He's been very not subtly dropping hints, so I want to do these. These are Desert Vista Dye Works. Desert Vista Dye Works. This is the Wild One colorway. This is on her Viso base, superwash merino and nylon. So I have cast on. I have increased to 64 stitches. Yes. And I did all this today. I know, right? So I'm really excited about it. I have lost my printout with all of my numbers that I painstakingly wrote down. It'll probably show up after it's too late, but I'm just kind of winging it. I went up to 64 stitches, and I'm just winging it. I'll do a fish lips kiss heel, and it'll be good. So, I think that's it. Yeah, so what I'll end up doing is pulling out one of his other pairs of socks and measuring how far I go from the tip of the toe to where I start the fish lips kiss heel, and then write all that down. So, that was a lot. I talked for about half an hour. I'm going to be cutting a few little bits out, like maybe the plane flying over and the husband coming in and out of the house and the cat almost knocking the camera. A day in the life. But now, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodbye to you and turn on some Supernatural. You know, I've been dieting. Really, I've been counting my calories because I need to, because I'm really good at consuming lots and lots of calories. I love food so much. And so when you start counting calories, I'm small enough. I'm small enough. My height is and metabolism at this point in my life is such that I cannot consume very many calories without packing on the pounds pretty quick. I hover around a weight that I'm very perfectly happy with, consuming 1,500 calories a day. And I think I probably got 1,500 calories just at lunch today, hanging out with my Nita friends. And my belly has been so mad. I haven't had dinner and I don't need it because all that fried food I ate is just a rock. And so I think I'm going to hang out here with this cat on my lap, and I'm going to turn on my TV and I'm going to watch some Supernatural or maybe a movie. I just noticed the live action Beauty and the Beast is available on Netflix now. So I may watch that. I don't know. And do a little bit of knitting. Because you know what? It's my vacation time. If you're going to be coming to SAFF, I don't know of any planned, get together. But I'm good with that. I'm just gonna be hanging around on Friday. I know at least, I'm pretty certain at least, my good friend Silly Frew and I are going to be kicking around on Friday. I don't know what time, but we'll be there. Come find us. If I remember, I'll throw my podcast buttons in my bag and ask me for swag, and I'll give you some swag. I'll give you a button. But yeah, I hope you have had a great, enormous amount of time since I saw you last, and I hope it continues to be amazing. And until I'm able to sit down and chat with you again, which could be very soon, happy crafting. I hope it all goes as you planned and is beautiful. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten in blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten in blues.